Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to everyone. Esteemed chairpersons, distinguished guests, speakers, participants, ladies and gentlemen. First, I would like to extend my gratitude to the organizers for providing me with the opportunity to deliver a keynote address entitled From Data to Decisions, Building a Data-Driven Future for Biodiversity Conservation in Malaysia. I would like to apologize for my inability to attend this important workshop in person due to unforeseen circumstances that arose at the last minute. My colleagues are joining this workshop in person, and they are more than happy to address any questions and are looking forward to actively participating in this workshop. The key policy directions from the perspective of 13th Malaysia Plan 2026-2030 at the macro level and National Policy on Biological Diversity 2022-2030. I will also highlight several national initiatives which are related to biodiversity data management, comprise Malaysia Biodiversity Information System or MyBIS, Malaysia Access and Benefit Sharing System, MyBIS for Peninsula, SABES for Sabah, and SORAS for Sarawak, National Policy on Biological Diversity Monitoring System, or in short, MyBIS, and National Space Agency MySA system, and finally, a conclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, Malaysia is one of the 17 mega-diverse countries. A country with rich flora and fauna species, as well as ecosystems and genetic resources. We need an effective data management in order to manage efficiently and effectively of our biodiversity. However, fragmented and inaccessible data has always been an issue in managing biodiversity due to different authorities and jurisdictions collecting and managing the data. Issues related to data sharing can be categorized into two main areas. One, the unavailability of data, and secondly, the inaccessibility of data. In general, as you can see on the slide, there are four key barriers to data sharing. The first barrier is physiological and behavioral barriers. These include an unwillingness to share data for various reasons, among others, such as data sovereignty and also perhaps legal and law barriers that protect copyright. Now we look at the second barrier relating to describing data. This includes the use of multiple languages, taxonomies, classification systems, and the metadata standards. Third, the practical barriers. Those involve issues related to access to technology, information storage, data integration, and also due to the unavailability of digital forms or format And last but not least, inadequate strategies and resources. As what we can see on the screen, this is an overview of the Malaysia's Development Plan 2026-2030 theme reshaping development that have three dimensions: to achieve high income and sustainable nation, quality and inclusive life, and sustainable environment. Let me draw your attention to the long-term goals and objectives on the left-hand side. In particular, raising the ceiling, because one of the objectives under these long-term goals is to establish an AI nation by 2030. Under the framework of AI nation, let's look at the 5 development elements. And element number 3, enhance digital and data infrastructure, is related to our topic for today, the need for integrated data repository to facilitate access and sharing of information, as well as support more accurate decision-making process. These are all at the macro level. Now we look at the global level under the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. This framework has 23 result-oriented targets, and I would like to highlight target 21 to ensure that the best available data, information and knowledge are accessible to decision makers, practitioners and the public to guide effective and equitable governance, integrated and participatory management of biodiversity, and also to strengthen SEPA. This target must be performed in accordance with national legislation. One of the key tools under the CBD to enhance the biodiversity management is through the clearinghouse mechanism. The importance of CHM has been described in Article 13, mainly for public education and awareness. Article 16, to facilitate access to and transfer of technology. Article 17, to exchange of information. Article 18, to facilitate technical and scientific cooperation. And Article 26 highlighted the importance of CHM in assisting parties to do report or to monitor the progress of existing initiative. Kunming has been well translated into MBSAP Malaysia. This policy was launched on the 24th of October 23, incorporated the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework targets into the local context. It has 5 overarching goals, supported by 17 targets, and each target has indicated what to do in the form of actions. So it has 61 actions. The ultimate goal of this policy is to support the 3 objectives of the CBD: to conserve biodiversity, to promote its sustainable use, and ensure the fair and equitable sharing of benefits arising from the utilization of biological resources. These are the 5 goals outlined in the national policy, And now let's look at the overall architecture or overall diagram showing goals and targets of the national policy on biological diversity. Based on analysis, it has been found that at least 9 targets emphasize on the need to improve data management, which is target 1. Target 2 on empower stakeholders. Target 4, mainstreaming biodiversity. Target 6, improve agriculture, forestry, and fishery. Target 7, greener tourism. Target 8, on improving protected areas. Target 9, protect vulnerable ecosystem. 11, on protecting threatened species. And target 12, on combating poaching and illegal trade. So it has clearly indicated that at least 50% of this policy stressed the importance of data management for effective conservation. Target 1, I will not read through the whole actions, but I will highlight some of the key actions. For target 1, the key actions is to promote citizen science, to provide opportunities for public participation in biodiversity research and conservation, and we can use the data gathered from the public to enhance the biodiversity management. On target 2, this I would like to draw your attention to action 2.5 to strengthen the national CHM as a platform for sharing information between researchers, resource managers, and other stakeholders. It shows the importance of CHM as a platform to be easily accessed by public at large, and also the specific users in helping them making decision, in helping them to gather information, the needed information for respective tasks. Target 4 on mainstreaming biodiversity. This target emphasized the need of data for monitoring, the need of integrated database that will assist in monitoring, and also the need of database to facilitate long-term analysis on biodiversity. Target 7, green tourism. For this target, it promotes the use of science-based design, planning, management, and maintenance to measure the impact of activities, in particular ecotourism activities, to biodiversity. Target 8 on improved protected areas, of how we can use the protected area information for reporting and monitoring. And this report need to be institutionalized in order to promote management effective assessment through the national clearinghouse mechanism. On protecting vulnerable ecosystem, the data can also use for monitoring and helping in analyzing the impact of vulnerable ecosystem, in particular for advising the planners for land use planning. Target 11 on protecting threatened species. Once again, they encourage the use of data to conduct conservation assessment, to enhance collaboration, to formulate, update, and implement science-based conservation action, so that the decision was emphasized based on the data gathered from various resources. Target 11 also on action 11.4 stress the need to adopt scientific and coexistent approaches to address human-wildlife conflicts, to scale up outreach and education programs for enhancing their awareness on reducing and mitigating human-wildlife conflicts in urban areas. And target 12, how to use appropriate technology, including remote surveillance, monitoring, and reporting tools to combat poaching and illegal harvesting of wild flora and fauna. And for target 14, we can also use a database to enhance awareness and capacities using digital tools and using national CHM to document and protect the traditional knowledge, innovation, and practices of indigenous people and local communities. And now let's look at the existing implementation, where I will showcase 4 existing systems that have been in place, helping Malaysia in making science evident decision using various database or data system. Malaysia Biodiversity Information System, or in short MyBIS, is a national clearinghouse mechanism. This system is also recognized as the National Biodiversity Database to provide biodiversity-related information. And it has many targeted users, policymakers, scientists, students for SEPA, for instance, and also to promote technical and scientific cooperation between the technical agencies that provide the data. MyBIS is focusing on facilitating application of access to biological resources and benefit sharing. And it has been divided into 3 key systems: MyBIS in Peninsula, SABIS in Sabah, and SORAS in Sarawak. The recent system that assists Malaysia in monitoring the implementation of national policy on biological diversity, in particular for preparing national report to the CBD, is Malaysia Biodiversity Track, or in short, MyBID Track. Last but not least, in utilizing the spatial databases and also the satellite data, Malaysia Space Agency, or in short MySA, has developed and managed several systems. I will highlight to you the system that have been developed by MySA. Now let's understand further about MyBIS. As I mentioned earlier, MyBIS is the Malaysia's clearinghouse mechanism under the CBD that assists in providing information and biodiversity data from various verified resources to the specific users, and it can also be used to public at large in raising their awareness of biodiversity and environmental issues. As of now, we have gathered a lot of information. We have all the species profile of Malaysia's flora and fauna species, specimens of over 200 over 1,000, images, the protected area data, references, and also gazetteer. This system can be accessed through www.mybis.gov.my. Several significant achievements by MyBIS at the international level, especially during Conference of Parties since 2016. COP13, Malaysia obtained Gold Award, and the recent one in Colombia, Malaysia has been recognized as the first prize winner for CHM. MyBIS, as I mentioned earlier, is focusing on facilitating the research permit applications under the domestic legislation in line with the Nagoya Protocol. The interface for MyBIS, which can be accessed through www.mybis.gov.my, not only for a permit application, but also for reporting and tracking through checkpoint. These are the competent authorities that manage and use MyBIS for permit application. And from 2020, where Malaysia enforced the ABS Act, until 2026, more than 400 applications have been processed through this system. Sabah is using Sabah Biodiversity Access and Export License Application System, or SABES, and Sarawak is using Sarawak Online Research Application System, or SORAS. A little bit of information on biodiversity threat. The key purpose is to monitor the implementation of Malaysia's MBSAP. This platform will provide an online platform for stakeholders to update biodiversity data, to update their initiative, and also progress on respective initiative, so that their progress can be well reported under the national report to the CBD. These are all the modules in MyBIodiversity track that will also give stakeholders to access to the report generated by the system. Malaysia Space Agency MySA system, there are a number of application and system using spatial databases and biodiversity distribution model, among others, forest monitoring, remote sensing, mangrove forest management systems, CITES Flora Species Information Management System, For coastal and marine, there is National Coastal Information Management System. For agriculture, they are also looking at the commodities management system, and last but not least on inland waters. Ladies and gentlemen, I have highlighted during this presentation the key policy directions with a focus on 13th Malaysia Plan and the national policy on biological diversity. And I have also shared several databases which related to biodiversity to facilitate the biodiversity management and also to enhance public awareness on biodiversity conservation. As a conclusion, integrated biodiversity databases are essential for supporting evidence-based planning, monitoring, evaluation, reporting, and informed decision-making at all levels. This is in line with the whole of society approach, where we need to have significant contribution from various stakeholders joining hand in hand for conserving our biodiversity. National level policies and initiatives are necessary to translate scientific evidence into effective implementation of biodiversity conservation. How we can translate the policy into tangible action on the ground, and how people will get the benefit from biodiversity conservation to sustain their livelihoods. Third, robust national frameworks are crucial for avoiding silos and enhancing synergies. And last but not least, in line with the objective of this workshop, to promote regional and international cooperation on biodiversity data sharing to enhance our collective knowledge and improve biodiversity conservation efforts. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to express my sincere thanks to the organizers for inviting me on behalf of the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environmental Sustainability to this important workshop. With that, I thank you.